Hey guys, welcome back to After Credit Movie Chats. My name is Dean Thomas, and this is my review for the highly anticipated Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. I just walked out of my advanced screening, drove home, gave myself a little bit of time to think about this movie because there's a lot to digest. My initial impressions are, I liked the movie, I didn't love it. This movie is one of the main reasons why I do these reviews for you guys. I got involved in the movie online space because I realized how much I love diving into these sort of things and how much movies played a part in my life. So I think I went in with maybe my expectations a little too high for this movie. We'll see what it does on repeat, because when I walked out of Man of Steel initially, I wasn't thrilled with the movie, but the more and more I watched it, I've probably seen upwards of 10 times now. I like it more and more each time I watch it. So I'm hoping that's what happens with this movie. Now, overall, let's get to a couple of maybe the big concerns. I know some people were like, 2.5 hours seems a little long. The runtime definitely is not a problem. I never checked my watch. I was never bored, nothing like that. What I will say is some of the things in the movie actually felt a little rushed. Now, that's because they'd introduce us to a new Batman. They'd take us forward with the story. And that's where I felt the first bit of the movie is a little jumbled. It feels a little like there's not much of a flow. It's just a jumbled pile of scenes at times. Certain scenes are way too long, others are cut off real short. It doesn't until about halfway the movie when the movie finds its groove, and that's where you kind of get into it. Another thing people were worried about, I know, was Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor. Now, I'm sure his portrayal of the character won't be for everybody anyway, but I actually really enjoyed it, and there's a lot more to him than we got in those trailers. So I think people will end up liking this Lex Luthor a lot more because he's intricate, he's complicated, there's a lot to him. And the last thing I know, a lot of big people worried about Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. How would that work out? She's not really a big time actress. She hasn't been acting for a while. And all I'll say is, because I don't want to not doing spoilers here, all I will say is they use her in a very cool way. She's not overused, she's not underused, and her entrance into the movie really is like kind of get up and clap. That's the one time the audience really clapped, is when she showed up on screen for the first time. And that was a really cool moment. I guess there was another, and okay, I guess let's get into a little bit of what's going on here. Obviously, Superman is this big figure of controversy. Batman's hasn't liked where this has gone and all of that. Now, I think where the problem with this movie lies is they try to get too heavily into the themes, the ideas behind Superman, and what it means to have this kind of godlike figure in the world. And I felt like they tried to dive into these themes too heavily, too deeply, and it didn't really have any effect on the story. It's just kind of like they wanted to go there for some reason. I don't think that really needed to be there and didn't work all that well. I will also say, and because they spent so much time focusing on those themes and ideas, they kind of cut out a lot of other stuff. There was a lot of scenes that they just jumped right through things. They would skip some of the important stuff or the stuff I would really want to see, and that was disappointing. One of the big things too is we know this is a Zack Snyder film, so there's going to be a lot of stylization with his movies and a lot of CGI. Now, that being said, I felt like this time there was a little too much CGI. I could have done without it. They could have cut back on it, but they really hit you over the head with it. And there was times where you could really tell it was CG, and that was disappointing as well. Moving on to the whole Ben Affleck as Batman. For the longest time, I was supporting him. I was supporting him. A lot of people weren't. Then people started to come around. We saw more and more. And I have to say, I think Ben Affleck's Batman's got a very good chance of becoming my favorite Batman. The problem is with Bale being my favorite, we got 3 movies of him focused solely on his Batman and Bruce Wayne. Here we get a brand new Batman, and he's not the lead of this movie. He's sharing it with Superman and Wonder Woman and all Lex Luthor and all these characters. So it's gonna take some time to see more of them. But I just say this movie took some chances with Batman. It took some chances with a lot of things. Some paid off, some didn't. Some things they do with Batman I really liked, thought were really cool, and others it's like I wish they hadn't done that, or maybe they could have scaled back there or something like that. And I think that's what this movie did as a whole. That when it took some chances, it hit on some of them, it missed on others. And that's kind of where I felt the film was a little uneven at times. And I know screenwriter Chris Terrio had said that Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, and the first Justice League, he's treating sort of as a trilogy as he starts writing these movies. And you can definitely compare this to The Empire Strikes Back. And I can see that we're not in terms of quality necessarily, but in terms of this tone and some of the themes and ideas played throughout it. The music in this movie is really great. It's epic, it's strong, it's powerful. Wonder Woman's theme is fantastic. But the weird thing is sometimes the music's so epic and it would be played at times and it was like, this doesn't quite fit the scene because this is so epic and the scene's not quite that. Um, the Looking forward to the Justice League, I have to say this movie leaves you wanting more, and that's a very good thing. Is it introduces you some things, gives you little hints and stuff like that, and then you want to go forward more with where these characters are going. And I am excited for a Justice League movie very much now. So I guess maybe let's wrap this review up. Like I said, there's certain risks this movie took, some things that worked on, some things that didn't quite work. Wish they had scaled back on the CG a little bit. Some of the times the flow wasn't real great either. Some scenes were choppy, they'd skip over things. And I don't want to spoil too much, but all I'll say is I wish they would have spent a little bit more time on the actual fight between Batman and v Superman. Felt almost like an afterthought a little bit. I mean, there's some really cool action and scenes in there, but I wish there was more, seeing as how that is the title of the movie. Overall, I wasn't disappointed. I did like the movie. I didn't love it as much as I wanted to. Hopefully, with more viewings to come, I will enjoy it more and more. So when I score this thing, right now I'm at a even 70%, a 7 out of 10. Some really cool things in this movie, enough to have some fun, to entertain yourself, but there were some things that I wish they had done better, held back on, as I went over. So overall, guys, there's my review of Batman v Superman. It opens wide this Thursday. Hope you guys are all willing to go out and see it. And once you do, jump in the comments and let me know what you thought. Do you agree with some of the things I said? Do you disagree? And hopefully I can talk a little bit more in depth about the things I really liked and didn't like in a spoiler-filled discussion I'll have hopefully with some friends on this once the movie opens wide. As always, follow me on Twitter at AC Movie Chats. That'll give you the link to my website, After Credit Movie Chats. All the links there for news, trailers, all that. Thank you guys so much for listening, and we will see you back here next time.